Hey guys! Hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be a general reading for fire sign Leo the Lion. All right. And yeah, I hope everyone is doing well whenever you come back, or if you're welcome to, and even if you're not new, welcome back. However you got here, I do appreciate it. So yeah, this is going to be a general reading for Leo, so it can cover anything like work, friends, family, health, etc. So always take it how it resonates for you. And even if you are not a sun sign Leo or rising Leo or have Leo in your moon, right? Placement, this reading still may resonate for you, as we all have all 12 zodiac signs through each of our birth charts. So that's why I always encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to find out what your other placements are, because depending on what's going on in your life, for instance, you may resonate more with your moon sign or with your sun sign or with your rising sign, okay? And also, for matters of love and stuff, always look into your Venus sign, what planet or what zodiac sign your Venus sign is in. All right. So what else? I do take a photo at the end, one photo of all of the cards I've already pulled for here, yes, and for you is what I was trying to say, Leo. So if you want to check that out later after the live is done, I will be posting it. And so all you have to do is go in the description box below and find out how to get a copy of the photo if you want to see the cards more up close in detail later. This reading is also timeless. So for instance, for some people, it could resonate 6 months in the past, 6 months in the future, a year in the past, a year in the future, a couple of months ago in the past, or months in the future. Okay, it is different for everyone since it is a general reading. Also wanted to set my timer there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and get into your reading here. And I do apologize for it being a little bit late. But we are here now, and that's what's most important. So I will be going through the next set of readings the usual way through the zodiac from Aries onwards. So hopefully, you won't have to deal with your reading being late next time. All right. So let's do a quick little sound bell here for some general grounding and healing for the reading for you guys and for myself. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out, or you can just listen to the sound as well. And just be aware it does get a little loud sometimes in case you're sensitive to sound or you're listening with headphones or something. All right. All right. Let's get into your reading here, Leo. Just put this over here for now. So yes, I do hope everyone had a good start to your new year. In case I forgot to say that in the last video, want to just say it again real quick. All right, so I guess let's get into it here. So we are going to start in the center. Okay, so the first main 6 cards in the center here are going to go over this 2-week period that we're talking about. Could be more in the future or in the past. Okay, it depends, like I said before. All right, so this first week, this first row here is energy starting around January 3rd. Okay, a little bit before, a little bit after, going through last week and last weekend. And then the second row here is the week that we're in now when I'm filming this. Okay, depending on when you're watching it though. And so we're going to go through the rest of this week and this upcoming weekend. All right. And again, it could, be around going to about January 16th or so. But again, it's not an exact science. So it really will depend for everybody a little differently. All right. So I want to go ahead and call out your cards here, Leo, and then we will go in order. We are working with two different tarot decks. And then we'll talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of your decks. And then at the very end, we have two little oracle cards for you as well, if you want to stick around for that. So yes, let's see what we have here. We have the Queen of Staves, also known as the Queen of Wands, in the right side up position. We have 10 of Swords in the reverse. We have 4 of Staves, 4 of Wands, right side up. We have 4 of Cups in reverse, 3 of Swords in reverse, and the Hermit, excuse me, in the right side up position. So right off the bat, we actually only have for you this time, Leo, 2 major arcana cards. It's not a bad or a good thing, really. It's just something I noticed, right? So that means you could have a little bit of less dramatic change going on that maybe some of the other zodiac signs, like for instance, I believe Virgo last night had like 6 major arcanas and you only have 2. So it could mean something to you and it doesn't have to though. All right. Just wanted to mention that there is, since we were talking about the Virgo reading, there is the Hermit here. So there is some Virgo energy here in your reading. And also a little bit of Pisces, kind of Sagittarius energy, depending on how you interpret the card, okay? So what do those things mean? It could mean that you're dealing with a Virgo, Pisces, or Sagittarius, or you have a lot of that, those placements within your own individual birth chart predominantly, or the other person you're dealing with does, or multiple people you're dealing with, or it's in the general environment situation that you find yourself in, or it means nothing at all. But try to call it out, when I see it as far as the major arcanas in the beginning of the reading here. Okay, so also too, if you start getting into this reading here, Leo, you are Leo. So sorry. I kept saying Virgo because I'm looking at the Virgo card. If you start watching this reading and that you find it doesn't resonate with you, never force a reading, right? So it could be about the person you're dealing with or multiple people you're dealing with or your general environment situation, or it just doesn't resonate. So that's why I always kind of say that deal in the beginning to have you check your other placements as well, because you might resonate with one of those more. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So you start off here, you're reading with the Queen of Staves, also known as the Queen of Wands, in the right side up position. And this could be a little bit of some recent past energy that's still hanging around, okay, from last week. That's what the week we're talking about right now, but also from even before then, maybe even from December, right? But it's not a bad energy to start your reading off with. It is the Queen of Wands, right? She is confident. She is stable. She has all the tools that she needs. She has people supporting her. She has resources. And in this deck here, you see this Egyptian woman, and she actually has her eyes closed. So that's that kind of silent confidence, that meditative going within, but also appreciating how far maybe it's taken to get to this point of a position of authority or a position of power, over others, or responsibility over others, right? And if it's not any of those things, it could just be that if this isn't you yourself here, Leo, it could be a person around you, general environment situation, but she is in control of her emotions as well, okay? Because you see the Nile River in the background, right? And so the water in tarot represents our emotions. So she is working through her emotions in a positive way to make her more abundant, to make her more strong, and to keep going forward on her path. So this card, this beginning of your reading, the energy of your reading is very abundant and positive energy moving forward here. All right, so I like this for you, Leo. All right, and I would say too, that Queen of Staves or Queen of Wands has a little bit of that Sagittarius energy I was talking about earlier, but it doesn't have to necessarily mean something for you, okay? Now, going forward, your second card here is also a really good position and good placement, right? It's the Ten of Swords in the reverse position. So, this is how you want to see this card. It means that maybe in the middle of last week or so, right, you were letting go of a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head, or even exhaustion, depression, okay? And if you weren't letting this go, then the other person or multiple people, general environment situation, was letting it go. But that's good, right? Whether it's for you or for others or both, right? Like let that go. Nobody wants to carry that around. So that is a good position to have that card in. Now, it seems like, as far as your third card here, Leo, that which is the Four of Staves, the Four of Wands, right side up, that this letting go, whether it was you or another person or multiple people, of those anxiety, worries, overthinking, exhaustion, depression, that it led to some then really nice celebratory energy, some union energy, some vulnerable communications energy, okay? And this could have been, in the middle of last week or even this weekend and trailing into still a little bit of this week that we're in now, right? Depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching. But you see these two Egyptian people, and they are in a deep conversation. Okay, they're all by themselves here, but it looks like there's a celebration. There's wine and cheese and grapes and fruit, all that stuff on the table in the foreground. Okay, so it is a union card, sacred union card, talks about having some type of vulnerable conversation to get on a deeper level with somebody. It could be a romantic union, and it could be a work partnership. It could be a deeper level of a union with friends or family, or even within yourself. It will be different for everybody, but it is for momentum. It is positive energy. And it's like, if it's not any of those things specifically, it could just be that now you are able to relax a little bit more and enjoy the energy here, because you let go, of the other person or multiple people let go of all that anxiety, worry, overthinking. So, right, so you go from this to then this in that more relaxed place. Okay, so however you find yourself in that energy, it is very nice. All right. Now, I did want to say too here, Leo, that let's see, we have one, two, three, four swords cards. No, wait, five. Sorry. One, two, three, four, five swords cards. Uh, three wands. Yeah, that's right. Three wands. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to count. And then we have your two major arcanas. We have a pentacles card, and then we have a cups card. So it looks like swords are the predominant major arcana in your reading. So for some of you guys, what does that mean? Just like the wands, the swords can be a weapon and a tool, right? So I think Virgo and even Libra, maybe some of the other ones before that, I can't remember now, did have more of the wands energy, but it is kind of a similar energy, just a little bit different, right? So when we talk about the sword, right, you can use it to cut back branches, right, to make your path clearer, okay, on your way. But of course, you use it to defend yourself, right? And we're talking about hopefully in metaphors. Hopefully, you're not just like walking around with a machete, but just I don't know. Anyway, hopefully not for most people. But sorry, so guys, I'm just goofy sometimes. If you've seen me before, you know. But it's also about taking that sword. Clea, stop. Shh. Sorry, guys, my dogs. It's also about taking that sword or that wand to then build something, right? So you can use the sword to take bamboo, for instance, right? And cut the bamboo in a certain way, and then you make a bamboo hut or a house or whatever it may be, right? There's so many different ways and examples. It's just something that came to my mind. But that could be an underlying theme here throughout these first 2 weeks of January, or even the whole month of January. But it is just something I wanted to mention really quickly. All right. Now, going forward to your fourth card here, Leo, you have another placement that is in a really, or another card that is in really good placement. And that is your fourth card, the Four of Cups in the reverse position. Now, I did also want to mention that you have, I think, four fours in your reading. Yeah, you have Four of Staves, you have Four of Cups, and you have Four of Sacred Circles, Four of Pentacles. Okay, so four could be a particular number for you if you're into numerology, right? That could be something of significance, right? It could also be, right? So, 4 times 3 is 12, right? So 12 could be a significant number for you in some way, or it means nothing at all. But I did think that that was interesting, that you had a lot of fours here. Okay, anyway, so back to talking about this card here in particular, and here we see the Four of Swords, this card in the reverse position. That's how you want to see this card, right? It means that maybe now in the second week of January, you yourself here, Leo, or the person you're dealing with, or multiple people, general environment situation, is now giving into having more patient energy, is now trusting in the divine, in your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your higher power. If you are religious, whatever it is, you're trusting more that that energy will come and bring you better circumstances, better people, better situations that you will vibe with better, right? Because when the card is right side up, this guy is not happy with what's being presented to him, and you can tell in his posture, right? And he's only focusing on these 3 cups at the bottom, but then that fourth cup is coming in if he just remains patient. So it could be that now, since you guys are tapping into that more patient energy and trusting in the divine, it could also be that now, you're also kind of learning to deal with some of the negative emotions, um, that are coming up for you at this time, or even, started a little bit in the past. I don't always say that with this card, but that's what I'm feeling with the surrounding cards, around it. Okay, so when we talk about the cups in, the tarot, not only like water, okay, the cups represent our emotions. So when the cup is right side up, like my coffee cup here, right, it means we're emotionally content, fulfilled, happy in some way. But when the cup is reversed, it would be, our emotions are not, completely positive. There's something bothering us, or uncomfortable with our emotions or the other person's emotions, multiple people, general environment situation. Okay, but here for you, I don't feel like it's all negative. I feel like maybe you're coming to a place here, Leo, where you're able to, um, maybe the emotion is just, in the recent past. And what is recent past? It could be a couple of days ago, hours, weeks, months, years, etc. You really did have a hard time with patience about, something about trusting in the divine. Since I'm a Sagittarius, a fellow fire sign, we are known to, have a harder time with patience, right? It's just a general example, not for everybody. Okay, but maybe now you're, coming into this new year, this new calendar year, of 2022, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to be more patient and calm those, impatient, past emotions, and I'm trying to also trust in something bigger than myself, which maybe you weren't necessarily doing before in the past. Okay, now, going forward, and that's good, that's all good. So far, your first 4 cards are really positive here. Actually, all of them are, but we'll get into that as it comes. Okay, so, your fifth card here is the Three of Swords in the reverse position, and this could be more energy in the middle of this week coming that we're in now, okay, or even beyond. Is not exact, right? But, it's the Three of Swords in the reverse position. So it's saying that, and we put it together with the last card we just talked about, the Four of Cups in reverse. That's why I was saying that, somebody is able to deal with some negative emotions in the recent past, that was something to do with a heartache, a pain, something painful, a betrayal, lower vibrational frequencies, being exhausted, right? And they're kind of balancing it out in a more stable way of saying, okay, that person, that situation, that pain, whatever it was, or exhaustion, was because I wasn't maybe being patient enough. And so I got myself into that situation. Not for everyone, right? So don't attack me when I say that. But it's just kind of like, basically, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. That if you had, because we're not talking about, when I talk about stuff from the recent past or even the way, way far back past, right? It's not like we are wanting to have regrets and we can't go really back in time and all the way, right? We can revisit it and learn lessons and all of that, but we're in the current present moment and going forward, right? So it's almost like, I lost my train of thought there of how exactly I was going to say it. It's almost like here, Leo, that you could be, yeah, I just feel like you're able to know that in the future, here's what I was trying to say, you could avoid, maybe perhaps, like we all want to, okay, avoid any heartache, pain, betrayal, low vibrational frequencies, or exhaustion if you do surrender to that patient energy and balance your emotions with saying sometimes they're good stuff, sometimes they're bad stuff, but that's normal for everybody, right? We all have ebbs and flows, okay? So that's what I would say as far as that. I don't want to stay too much time on that because it will be different for everybody, okay? But like I said before, the Three of Swords in the reverse position is a very positive position because you're letting go of that energy and you're coming out of it, or the person you're dealing with is coming out of it, or multiple people, general environment situation. Now here, as your sixth card in the main center, you have that Hermit energy. That's the Virgo energy. If you're dealing with a Virgo or you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, or they do, or the general environment situation, I would maybe check out the Virgo reading as well if you feel that's something that you want to do, okay? But this is really about, finding your own answers, trusting your intuition, excuse me, trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, right? How you feel about things, because a lot of times when we ask answers, we have the answers within ourselves, okay? If we really slow down and take the time to allow those things to come up and allow the wisdom to come up here. So it looks like towards the end of this week and weekend, or maybe possibly even a little bit of the beginning of next week or so, that you could be tapping into that Hermit energy, or another person or general environment situation is, okay? Now, I actually want to go back just a little bit because I was so excited about your reading. I kind of forgot to talk about certain cards with other cards, yes. So before we get into your tarot confirmation cards, we'll just go back a little bit in this last row here in the week that we are in now, okay? And we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of your decks here, all right? So I forgot to, when we were talking about the Four of Cups in reverse, and I was trying to verbalize the right thing that I was thinking about, we also have to talk about what was on the top and the bottom of your other deck here. This is the one with the yellow border. It's the Llewellyn deck, okay? And this is way, way back past energy, okay? And what we have is the King of Swords in reverse, and we have the Six of Swords in the right side up position. And we're talking about these two cards in relation to that Four of Cups in reverse, okay? So it's basically saying that in the way, way back past here, Leo, there could have been a situation or person or whatever it may be, that was mentally confusing you or someone else or multiple people, okay? With the King of Swords in the reverse position, because the sword is down and we want the sword to be going up, right? It also could be that you yourself here, Leo, or the other person, general environment situation, was having a harder time seeing something from a larger perspective. There's normally this little tiny bird at the bottom of the card when it's right side up, so you can fly over and see the whole kingdom and where everybody's at. But when it's in the reverse position, it's like in this way, way back past, somebody here wasn't able to look at something from a higher perspective, a different angle or point of view. And so that led to even more confusion, even more feelings of not being supported, not stepping into their own power in some way, not wanting to level up or step into a leadership leadership role too with the king in reverse. Now, when you put it together with also the Six of Swords in the right side up position, it's a little bit better than the king by himself, just in reverse, okay? Because here there's some movement. The swords are still going down, if you can see really small in the boat, but there's still some movement. So somebody in the way back past here, Leo, started to want to work with their emotions and process them and figure out why it was bringing all this confusion, anxiety, overthinking, being too much up in your head, exhaustion, lower vibrational frequencies, okay? All of those things, okay? But well, let me go back for a second because it's interesting, right? Remember when you had the Three of Swords in reverse as your fifth card, following the Four of Cups in reverse? Remember I said that there was a pain, a heartache, a hurt, a betrayal from the past, okay? And here you see it because there's these three people in the boat, right? So two of them are facing forward to the swords, to the future, wherever they're going, but they have their back to the man that is steering the ship. So it's almost like they don't really trust him, okay? Or maybe they do trust him. It can be different for everybody, but it brings up, two cards here. In the recent past, there was something to do with not fully trusting somebody, or some type of pain or betrayal or heartache or hurt or low vibrational frequencies. But this is the present current energy that you have for the middle of this week. So it's in reverse, and that's how we want to see that card. So this is good. But this is just kind of going back over why in the way back past, maybe before, you were not happy with the current circumstances because there was a lot of confusion and pain and betrayal and heartache and all those things, and people weren't able to see something from a higher perspective. But you yourself either learned this, Leo, or the other person learned this, or you both learned this, or however it resonates for you, if it does, okay? But I just wanted to briefly talk about that before we go forward and talk about your confirmation cards. Now, also, as far as, because I got excited too, and I forgot about these ones over here too, your last card in the main six, right, the Hermit energy, the Virgo energy that we were talking about, it also has the top and the bottom of its deck that we need to talk about. This is the Ancestral Path Tarot deck, the ones in the center here, the main six, okay? So this is, again, past energy from the way back past, and that could be different for everybody. A couple of days ago, months, years, hours, minutes, etc., okay? But what we have, and this is your third four card, right? Remember I said you have four cards. You had the Four of Staves or Four of Wands. You have the Four of Pentacles and of Sacred Circles. And then you also had the Four of Cups. Okay, so remember, four could be an important number here. But we're going to talk about this Four of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, along with the Prince of Cups in the reverse position with that Hermit energy. Okay, your sixth card here. So it looks like in the way back past here, Leo, somebody was learning to work on their communication. Remember, you also had your other communication card, the other four card, the Four of Staves in the right side up position, because the smoke represents in the Native American culture, and in this deck is like the peace pipe. Okay, so somebody in the way back past was trying to work on their communications, okay, with others, and maybe it lacked a vulnerability in the way back past, or they were more focused on their communication as far as it being expressed through their wealth, through their abundance, right, through their sacred circles or pentacles, right? Even though pentacles and wealth and abundance isn't just money, it could have been that in the recent past somebody here was more focused on that and not so much about using their communication skills for for getting to a deeper level with somebody or even with themselves, because they were more focused on stacking their abundance and just being able to survive, okay, in some way. All right. And also, when we put it together with the Prince of Cups in reverse, right, this would normally be a communication card as well. Okay. It would be a medium sized offering because he's a prince, not a king. Okay. And it's also emotions again with a cup. Okay. So this is basically saying that in the way back past here, Leo, because somebody was maybe focused on you yourself or another person, etc., was focused more on surviving, stacking their abundance, their pentacles, their wealth, and not in this vulnerability side of whatever this communication was supposed to be. It could have, put a celebratory party energy on hold. It also could have put the whole communication on hold. It could have been a communication that you were going to give to someone or someone was going to give to you, or it was a general communication from your spirit guides, your guardian angels, the divine, your higher power, whatever you believe in, okay? But it's just general stagnant energy too with the horse in the reverse position, okay? So we're kind of talking about maybe why we have the Hermit card here too, which is good, right? There's nothing wrong with the Hermit in the right side up position. That's how you want to see that card as well. But it could be that these two other cards from the past were acting more as a catalyst to get you into this Hermit energy, to get you more in touch with your own intuition, your own emotions in a positive way. So then you could work on your communication. All right. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense here. So now let's go ahead and hold on, drop my pillow. Let's talk about your tarot confirmation cards here as well. All right. So we talked about what was on the top and the bottom of each deck, and now we'll go ahead and call out your tarot confirmation cards and go in order. So your first one is the Nine of Swords in the right side up position. Your second one is the Hanged Man in the right side up position. And your third one is the Eight of Wands in the right side up position. So the first two tarot confirmation cards that I talk about, excuse me, is usually past energy. Sorry, one second. And the third one here at the end is more future current energies. Okay, that's kind of how I read it, unless my spirit guides tell me a different way. Okay, since every reading is different, but that's what we're doing here. Okay, so this is past energy, right? And it could be more of a recent past, not the way back past like these other two cards, the ones on the top and the bottom of each deck. Okay, so in the recent past, there was, and we know this already, this is kind of already confirming what we already know, that's why it's called a confirmation card, that there was a lot of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head, exhaustion, lower vibrational frequencies with either you yourself or the other person you're dealing with or multiple people or general environment situation, okay? But it was a catalyst because then look what it did. The two cards it's confirming are very positive, right? So out of the darkness, then must come the light, okay? The ebbing and flow, right? All right, so then you have it confirming the Queen of Staves, Queen of Wands over here to work on the confidence, to having more support around you, to controlling your emotions or other person starting to control their emotions, to step into their power, right? To have this it's like, the way that I would think about it too, and I don't know if I said this before, is that the way that she looks in this card, because her eyes are closed, I don't want to get too close because then sometimes the whole camera stops focusing. Hermes, no, come here. Anyway, she almost has in her energy field, like, you better respect me, I'm a queen, right? And when we talk about the images of the cards, it doesn't mean you can't relate to it because you're a man or you don't identify as a woman or whatever. It's just a metaphor for the cards and how we're seeing it if you're watching and not listening, but whatever, okay? She just has this energy to her that let's say she didn't have the crown, let's say she didn't have the scepter or the fancy clothes, she's still going to walk in her power and her energy as the queen, okay? And she couldn't have gotten there if she hadn't had this before in the past and learned to work through it and let it go, okay? Now, same kind of deal going on over here with the Four of Cups in the reverse position. Again, that's how you want to see that card, because now it's like, I might not be completely happy with where my emotions are at, but they're not completely negative. They're not completely positive. I'm coming more into balance with them to also to, what's the word? Also to, come to a more adult viewpoint of everybody has pain, heartache, hurt, betrayals, lower vibrational frequencies that they might have had to deal with in the recent past. So I'm not going to let that block my abundance or my moving forward in my life. I'm going to have more patience and trust in the divine, in your higher power. Yes, right on the bell there, in your guardian angels, spirit guides, whatever it may be. Okay, that your ships will come in here. Okay. All right. So now moving forward, and it is interesting too. It could have something to do with this Virgo energy being a little bit present here in your reading, Leo. But I remember Virgo also had the Four of Cups in the reverse position in a different placement. But it could also have something to do with the general astrology of this time period, or just because Virgo also showed up in your reading. Okay, wanted to mention that. All right, now going forward here, though, let's get into your second confirmation card. And this is also past energy. And here's the Hanged Man in the right side up position. Okay, so this is a little bit of that Pisces energy I was mentioning before, too. Could mean something to you, but it doesn't have to. This is a great card. This is past energy as well, of someone being able to ground themselves, right, and see something from a larger perspective. Okay, if we put this together with your King of Swords, this is from the way back past, and this is from more your recent past, right? So remember I said I was talking about the bird and not being able to see something from a higher perspective, different angle. Well, it looks like somebody was really learning that lesson, because then here in the more current past, they are now able to look at something from a different angle, point of view, philosophy, way of life. Like, okay, I don't exactly understand where you're coming from. This is an example, but I'm going to try to see it from your point of view, from your eyes, etc. Okay, I'm also going to ground myself, and I'm going to get enough sleep, right? Get enough sleep. What else was I going to say? Oh, yes. Well, grounding yourself is different for everybody, because it can also not just be about eating the right things. That's what I was trying to say. Having break in between working and having time for play, and getting your sleep and your rest. Okay, because it's just about being more firmly in that energy. And because, when we talk about grounding and we talk about earth signs, you have this Virgo energy here in your reading too. So it could be, if you're not dealing with a Virgo, or you don't have a lot of Virgo in your chart, or the person you're dealing with doesn't, or multiple people, general environment situation, it could just be that you're trying to ground yourself more, because you're normally this fire sign, go. And so now you're like, okay, I'm going to try to, get down back to the basics and get into that earth energy here. Okay. But anyway, regardless, let's talk about what this card is confirming. So we have the Hanged Man in the right side up position, and it is confirming the Ten of Swords in the reverse position, and also the Three of Swords in the reverse position. That's how you want to see these two cards. Both of these swords cards are in the reverse position. So we know that the more that you're able, or the other person, general environment situation, is able to see something from a higher perspective, let go of all the overthinking, anxiety, worry, lower vibrational frequencies, exhaustion, and ground themselves, then you can keep moving forward and not be stuck in that energy. All right. And where are we at? Yes, your last third confirmation card here is the Eight of Wands in the right side up position. Oh, you know what? Virgo got that card too, I think. But it was it was with the other deck in a different placement. Weird. Okay. Side note, if you haven't watched me before, I do a lot of shuffling and cutting up the deck, and then I do a big fish pond thing. And so for the cards to kind of be a little similar, not the whole reading, but that is weird. I think I'm pretty sure they also got Eight of Wands in the right side up position. No, maybe it wasn't Virgo, maybe it was Libra. I can't remember now. All right, anyway, you're like, it's Leo. Focus on me, please. You're right. Okay, let's talk about your Eight of Wands in the right side up position. And this is your last third confirmation tarot card, right? And this is more future present energies. So here comes in a fast communication. It could be a good communication. It could be a bad one, right? But it is kind of startling these deer or elk or whatever they are in the background of the card here, because they're coming in really fast through the air, right? That's a surprising element. So it also talks about our instincts. It talks about fight or flight. It talks about our intuition as well, right? But it's in the positive position. So, I think whatever other sign got this, I think it was in the negative. Anyway, I can't remember now. But this card, when it comes in here, and we had already previously here for you, Leo, we had mainly two cards that talked about a communication, right? So it could have something to do with the past communication, right, that wasn't vulnerable enough. And then here in that first week of January, there's more vulnerability to some type of communication or celebration, right? Because it's confirming the Four of Staves in the right side up position, and it's also confirming the Hermit in the right side up position here. So it could have something to do with this communication that maybe started in that first week of January for some of you guys, right? It's not exact here, but it's really like asking you or the other person or multiple general environment situation, right? How do I instinctively feel on an intuition level about this communication at first gut instinct when I first receive it? Put aside that it's shocking, right? Whether it's good or bad, like how do I really feel about it? And so then when that confirms the Hermit, that asks you to go within, right? To know that you have your own answers and you can trust yourself the most here, because other people are always going to have an opinion, but at the end of the day, a lot of times we know ourselves, right? If we just quiet enough to get that wisdom. All right. So I know we're a little bit already beyond the time. So that is what I have for you here, Leo, as far as your tarot. But let's go ahead and talk about your oracle cards here real quickly. I'm going to take a sip here. Sorry. Okay. So your first oracle card is your love oracle message, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family, or even self-love, or all of the above. Your love oracle message is, and it's such a Leo thing because it's fire sign, right? You guys are fire sign. Anyway, your love oracle message is passion, okay? And it says, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. All right. And here you see this angel-like guy about to kiss this woman. All right. So this is pretty self-explanatory for the romantic love, for the platonic love with friends or family, or even self-love, right? And that goes back to also that grounding energy, that earth energy, whether it's because, Virgo is not the only earth sign, but it was just there in your reading. But the more that you're able to do the things that make you happy, right? Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Then you can be more grounded and more passionate with whatever you're trying to pursue or manifest in your life. All right? Okay. Now, your second oracle card, this is your Kalima oracle card for this time period. And it's an oracle deck, not tarot, right? But it's the Kali Oracle, cannot talk. The Kalima Oracle deck, or Kali Oracle, by Elena Fairchild, all right? And a really beautiful imagery by Jimmy Manson, I believe is the artist, okay? But anyway, the one that you got for this time period, and hopefully I'm saying this right, is Dakshana. Okay, I don't think I've gotten this one before. It's really interesting. So Kali Ma, and the way that I was explained to it years ago, and I'm not Hindu or Buddhist, but I can appreciate some of those lessons, right? That could be universal for some people. Is that you would pray to Kali Ma, for some type of justice. Okay, as an example, one of her examples, because she has a lot of different manifestations, and so you would pray to Kali Ma, let's say, because you wanted justice for a situation, but you didn't want it to take a toll on your own karma, on your own energy. So you would pray to Kali Ma as an example and say, I trust that you will bring justice to the situation for me and, for the best of everyone. Whatever, okay? As an example, right? Or maybe not for the best of everyone, but for the best for you anyway. Right? Because we don't always, it's not all love and light. I mean, we try, right? But let's be real. So, anyway, here, I'm going to read just a little bit. I'm not going to read this whole thing about this card because I'm not super familiar with all of these, okay? But it says, Dashana Kali conquers even the most extreme fears. She steps forward with her right foot, a sign that she will create order from chaos. Her forearms are raised to bestow blessings and to wield the divine weaponry necessary to protect the soul. She restores and realigns, eliminating that which has no place on your soul path. Her actions are powerful and benevolent. She appears fierce yet is benign. Her oracle brings the message that a situation which may frighten or intimidate you is well within your capacity to handle. No matter how dramatic or intense the scenario may appear to be, it shall become little more than a passing memory and shall not have any negative bearing upon your future. It says under explanation here too for this card, fear can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away the joy you take in living. Oh my God, that totally goes with even just your other oracle card here, the passion card, right? And allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Well, oh, there we lost the focus. Hopefully it'll come back. There we go. This Kali Ma card, right? The Dashana card is talking about if you have too much fear, it can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away the joy that you take in living. Interesting. Okay, so it says the let me start that again. The benign yet mighty Dashana Kali manifest to conquer your fear, realign your mind and path towards peace and light. Make a sincere offering from your heart to her now, and you will receive her generous blessings and assistance. Open your heart with trust for that which is blessed and beautiful wants to manifest in your life. Okay, very nice. And what else do we have here? The term Dashana means gift. Okay. Typically, the gift you would offer to a healer or spiritual teacher with gratitude for their teachings and blessings. Okay. How could anyone possibly offer to a great being such as Kali Ma? What could you offer? You can offer love, affection, and prayers, especially those that can relate not only to us, but to all beings in need. Okay, very true. And then it says here as a little invocation and prayer, and I'll end it here. It says, Kali Ma Dashana Ma, I humbly bow before you. My heart leaps with joy as I feel the presence of my soul's divine queen. My heart is now soft and surrendered with gratitude and trust in you. I know not what I truly need, but I know that you know. Okay. I trust in you to deliver your blessings as well as in my capacity to receive, integrate, and heal through those blessings now and always. For the spiritual benefit of all beings, may I receive, may I receive, may I receive. Jama da shalan. oh my God, I said it before. Jama da dash Dashana Kali. Okay. Anyway, we'll end it there because I'm probably butchering that. But if you want to look more into it, you can do a quick Google search for that name, and there's probably a lot more history. Or you can also look up the Kalima Oracle deck or Kali Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. All right. But that is your reading here, Leo, and hopefully you got something from it. And always feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you feel comfortable, but if not, that's okay too. So thank you guys, as always, for your likes, for your shares, and your subscriptions. They're all free ways to support my channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, all you have to do is click on the bell icon on the bottom right side, whichever side. I think that's your right. Okay, this is my right. Yeah, it should be on that side. And you just click it and make sure that it's blue and it's active, and it'll notify you when I put out new readings. So other than that, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then we should be back with Cancer after this. All right, guys, take care. Bye.